Hello. So tonight, my lovelies, I have posted and shared a few videos about the business basics, specifically about naming your business, because I've given you a couple of assignments this week. This week, you are to apply for an EIN if you can. And one of the steps that helps fulfill the if you can is naming your business. So I want to give you all a chance to reflect on your business name or any ideas that you have for your business name and watch a couple of those videos to make sure that you're ready to commit to that name. As many of them say, like that, man, that brand, that name, everything that you invest in it is really important. And it's really hard when you're first starting out to figure out if the name is something you want to live with forever. Just know that you can change your name. I've definitely done it, but it does take a little bit of work and you will lose some ground. What do I mean by that? For example, my business name, which I still retain the URL and the rights to, was Doula Plus. I grew a brand nice and big and robust, SEO on my website, all the whole nine from Doula Plus. And when I moved to South Florida a few years ago, I decided to rebrand. While Doula Plus was awesome, I thought I was being really smart. Like I'm a doula plus a lactation professional plus an attorney plus dot 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 placenta encapsulator, childbirth educator. At the same time, I also felt like, and it was nice and short, and I had a visual that I thought the brand, like if the logo could go with. I didn't feel like it fit me 5 years later when I was doing more. I didn't want the name of the business to be about me because now I'm working with other people. I wanted the business to be about what kind of work I was doing and like the intentionality and the energy behind the work that I was doing. Thus, I went into Birth Connections. Now, that name has some challenges, and I'm working actively to overcome them. And we'll talk about that when we actually dive into the business section later into our time together. But it's important to think about your name, the implications, how it will be received, whether there are other people who have a similar name, whether your name is too common, whether your name is too unique, whether your name has too many characters, too short, too long, all of that good stuff. So a few of these videos will help you. I encourage you to do your own search. I encourage you to talk to your family and friends. I encourage you to, at the very minimum, to a Google search to make sure that somebody does not have your name and that you're not doing all of this work all in vain. Okay. I do, before I leave, want to share with you just some things and some trends that I've seen in the doula world. Because the videos that you are watching and maybe some of the work that you go out and take a look at is generic, it's to any business. Having been in the doula world for 20 plus years, I have seen some things. Okay. So, one of the things that people really love to do is have these really unique kind of spiritual names or names that kind of say like butterfly birth services or elephant divine elephant services, and all of those are really nice and creative, and that's what people used to as doulas when this was like a hobby. That's what we used to name our businesses, and some people don't knock it, some people still do. But I will tell you, if you are a brand new doula, if you're a solo practitioner, you are your brand. And it's really hard to, translate something like divine elephant services, doula services, to the individual who's providing the services. Yes, it makes for a beautiful like logo and all of that, but it doesn't mean so. Okay, so one thing, it's very specific to a target client. Okay, and while it might be attractive to that target client, the question is, do you have people, enough people paying for doula services in that target client? Because it feels like a little nichey, like a small group of people. But are those people paying for birth services? Is there enough of them to consistently pay you to pay your bills? I'm pausing because I'll wait. Generally, the answer is no. You want to be very clear, concise, straightforward about how you are naming your business and what the purpose of the work that you're doing. Okay. So while I agree with things like such and such birth services, birth support services, you also want to be careful that your name isn't too long. Um, for example, one of the videos, the lawyer from Hawthorne Law Firm says, if it's your name, birth support services, that's not something that can be trademarked, which might be fine because what are the chances of people actually using your name, to steal your name, right? So it is kind of steal theft proof, but it's also not trademarkable unless you really rise in your brand so much so that your name is synonymous with a thing, then in which case we would certainly trademark it to protect your interests. So these are just some things to think about. Trademarking is not the end all be all, y'all. Like there are a bazillion, everybody, almost everybody, nobody is trademarked, okay? But it is just something to think about in terms of like the uniqueness of your name, the length of your name, the sound of your name. Does it actually resonate with your target client? Do you even know who your target client is? If not, and if you really, really want to run some names past a few people, send it to me, email it to me, or you can messenger it to me, and we'll figure out how to, gather a couple people to take a look and help you. I say all that to say that before you actually do the assignments, like get an EIN number or an NPI number or open up a business bank account, you really want to be comfortable with the name that you're starting out with. It is perfectly okay if that name is not the name that you have 20 years from now. But starting out with a name that is clear, that is attractive to your target client, that makes sense for you, something that you can grow, I think that's totally acceptable and it's a really good place to start. Now, for those of you who are really brand new into the doula world, this can feel like a lot. But I hope that you'll get creative, have some fun, gather your friends and family, ask, bounce some things off of them. You can certainly bounce some names off of us here in the doula group and the Facebook group, and we'll help you. We'll help you find something that works for who you are today and who you might be in 4 or 5 years. At that point, you might want to do a rebrand. You'll make the investment and it'll be completely fine. There are lots of doula businesses that have totally rebranded and refreshed. I'm about to do that with my logo and my website and everything. You just invest a little bit of money, but you got to be prepared. And so we want a name that will last you, like I said, a good 5 years, something you can live with for a little while. So let's dive into that. Let's make sure we're making really good, smart decisions. It's just a fundamental task that you have to complete, and we're here to help you. So that's my take on naming your business and having a strategy around that name. If you have questions, you know how to find me. Okay. Talk to y'all soon. Have a good week.